This is News 8 Now, this morning.
State legislature has underfunded schools for a decade, and as a result, we're facing pretty significant budget deficits. So we're grappling with a $3.7 million budget deficit as we think about next year's school budget.
Because what we wouldn't want to do is just have a place where people go and then everyone is unhappy about how it's operating. So we are really working on utilizing state dollars and local dollars to determine sustainability before we move forward with that.
We've been full, so we're going to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 to 175 passengers each morning, and then about half of that on each of the afternoon flights, which are separated a little bit better.
That is a preview of what we've got coming up for you here on News 8 Now this morning on this November 15th, 2022. I'm Jordan Fremstad.
And I'm Derek Sibley.
Well, Derek, we live in the Midwest.
Yep.
We're used to winter weather, right? It seems like we're never prepared, though. It seems like it's, even though we're halfway through the month of November, feeling more like December right now.
Yeah, definitely. We definitely feel like we're in that December type pattern, Jordan, with temperatures as well as seeing a pretty good snow here for today, which we'll get to here in a second. But right now we're kind of watching some snow across our eastern zones as well as our western zones. La Crosse and pretty much a lot of our central zones right now kind of in this dry slot. But if we widen out the view, you can see the snow here to the south that continues to move its way towards the north this morning, and we're going to tap into that here come later today. Temperatures heading out the door, well, mainly into the low 30s. It's 30 in Eau Claire, 33 degrees the temperature in La Crosse now, and your day planner shows us that we will be looking at temperatures mainly into the 30s, but really the more important thing is we're going to be watching that snow here come down throughout much of the day. You know, starting later this morning and then really just continue throughout the day. We got 90% odds here of seeing that snow accumulating, and it looks like a lot of that is especially going to come down here this afternoon, where some of that snow, Jordan, could turn heavy at times, and I'll be monitoring that for you throughout the day. And
we appreciate it. Yep. We'll keep an eye on that. Thanks a lot, Derek. The Jackson County couple charged with child sex crimes is now accused of breaking a court order. Casey and Jennifer Zillmer are charged with a combined 12 felonies, most involving children. Last week, Jennifer Zillmer posted $4,000 cash and was released from jail. On Monday, Casey asked the court to reduce his $10,000 cash bond. The prosecutor asked the judge to deny that motion. The couple is not supposed to have any contact with the victims or one another. The prosecutor told the judge the Zillmers broke that order in the jail.
Mr. Zillmer was being disciplined for violating the institutional rules at the jail. When he passed a note through a book through the library and then used the placement provider to facilitate getting a message to Jennifer Zillmer in order to retrieve the note.
Casey Zillmer remains behind bars. The judge told the court she's concerned if Zillmer is released, he would not return for his hearing. 2 teenagers may face charges after a bonfire explosion. Officials say possibly 40 people were hurt last month in Shawano County when a drum filled with diesel and gas was thrown into the fire and exploded. 17 people were taken to hospitals, 7 were flown to burn units. Investigators are recommending a 17-year-old be charged with second-degree reckless injury and negligent handling of fire. A 16-year-old boy could face the same charges in juvenile court. The homeowner who was at the party could also face charges. Illinois emergency rooms are reporting an increase in the number of children coming in with suicidal thoughts. Local health officials say it's an alarming trend they're seeing here too. Gunderson Health System officials who monitor the 211 crisis hotline say they have seen a slight increase in teenagers calling them with suicidal thoughts. The crisis line supervisor says each call is a personal struggle, so organizations don't have a one-size-fits-all approach. She says adults in schools can be a helpful resource.
Any adult in the school system can learn to watch out for the signs and just check in with somebody, say, hey, are you okay? Because an adult that means well can make a big difference.
If you or someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, you can call 211. We have additional resources available at news8000.com. On Monday, the La Crosse County Clerk completed the canvass of the midterm election, making the results official. Clerk Ginny Dankmeyer says the canvass is transparent and proves the midterm elections were fair.
What we're doing right now is that we're checking to make sure everything matches up. If there's more people in the poll book than ballots cast, we want to know why. More ballots cast than people in the poll book, we're going to reconcile that and find out why as well. So anybody that wants to say the election wasn't fair, that it was rigged, anything, they should be sitting here today watching the canvass results to know that, you know, everything was fair.
As a result of the canvass, each of the candidates for La Crosse County Sheriff gained 1 extra vote. John Siegel remained the winner with 175 more votes ahead of Fritz Leinfelder. Leinfelder can still ask for a recount, but he would have to pay for it. Last week, Leinfelder said he would not concede before that canvass. The La Crosse County Board will spend $100,000 on a test well in the town of Campbell. According to the request, the test could help the town find a long-term clean water solution. Families in the town of Campbell are drinking bottled water because their wells have tested positive for PFAS. Drilling for the test well is set to begin in the next 2 weeks. The town of Campbell also asked the county for an additional $500,000 for PFAS research. The board approved the money, but will not release the money immediately. Instead, the county will hold on to the money until they can discuss what the money will be used for. The board did approve other funding packages for the Holman Community Center, the City of Onalaska for the Omni Center, and Big Brothers Big Sisters, then approved the entire 2023 budget. La Crosse City and county leaders are now outlining how they'll use federal dollars to improve the community. Those officials joined a call with the La Crosse Area Chamber of Commerce on Monday night to describe the plans to use ARPA money for issues like housing, the environment, and child care. Earlier this year, La Crosse County set aside $6 million for bridge housing for families and adults with high needs, but those projects are halted. La Crosse's interim county administrator says it's one thing to make a plan, but it's another to run it long term.
Because what we wouldn't want to do is just have a place where people go and then everyone is unhappy about how it's operating. So we are really working on utilizing state dollars and local dollars to determine sustainability before we move forward with that.
Leaders say the bridge housing plan could come before the county board within 6 months, if not sooner. The La Crosse Common Council unanimously approved the city's 2023 operating budget, but the finance director warned council members it won't be as easy next year. The city used ARPA funds to balance the budget. Those are one-time funds. The director of finance says if the state does not increase the shared revenue La Crosse receives, taxpayers will receive fewer services or pay more for them.
There isn't a magic wand that you can do without an impact. Usually the taxes, in my experience, usually depends on additional revenues from referendums, which again increase taxes.
The council also voted in favor of a new fee schedule. The cost of some public records requests, alcohol licenses, and construction permits are going up. The snow removal fee will go down. Still to come on your Tuesday morning news, Thanksgiving is only about a week away, and today's prices could affect how you plan to travel. And meet this month's top-notch teacher. Here is a hint. He loves the sound of music. That's coming up later on here on News 8 Now this morning. With that in mind, we are sending you to break with something to put the good in your Tuesday morning. Subway has good news for sandwich fans who want their food now and don't care about customization. Subway unveiled a sandwich-filled vending machine. The subs inside the machine are pre-made. Subway plans on putting those machines at airports, college campuses, and hospitals. The company claims the machines will use artificial intelligence to accept verbal orders, meaning they'll talk to that vending machine to ask it for a sandwich. It is 9 after the hour. We've got your latest forecast coming up after the break.
That was a live look there from City Cam 8 showing things looking quiet, but things are turning cloudy and especially snowy here down to the south. That snow is going to move north here later this morning. Temperatures are into the 30s, 33 in La Crosse. Temperatures in Eau Claire are also at 30. Sparta's at 31. Vroke was at 30. Bosqueville at 32. Let's get a check now on your zone forecast today. La Crosse County, high temperatures reaching the mid-30s and snow here likely throughout the day as well. On Alaska, you're looking at a high of 37 though. Gaze Mills at 36. Vroke at 33. Lafarge today at 36 degrees and Westby at 33. Highs reaching 35 today in Melrose and in Sparta, looking at 35. Cashton to the south at 33. Alma Center at 34 today. Snow likely across the north zones too, with temperatures mainly between around 34 to 35 degrees. Your schoolcast for this morning does call for 33 and cloudy. We'll start to see some snow though by the lunch hour at 33 degrees, and some of that snow could turn heavy here by the afternoon. Will be 35 degrees here as we hit the afternoon hours too. Stay tuned for another check on the full weather forecast that's coming up a little bit later in weather.
Air carriers have refunded more than $600 million to thousands of passengers for canceled or changed flights since the start of the pandemic. It comes as federal regulators say a half dozen airlines determine when refunds are issued. They also issued over $7 million in fines against the 6 airlines for extreme delays in providing refunds to passengers. The DOT launched a customer dashboard recently to help travelers determine what they are owed if their flight is impacted. Tesla and CEO Elon Musk will be in court this week over a massive compensation package he gets from the automaker. The 2018 deal at the time, said to be worth nearly $56 billion, has a current net value of almost $51 billion. Richard Tornetta brought the case to the court on behalf of Tesla shareholders. He claims Musk exploited control over the company and the board of directors to fund personal ambitions. The national average price for a gallon of gas has lowered slightly ahead of the Thanksgiving holiday. AAA says the price declined 3 cents in the past week. The Auto Club notes even though the national average barely budged, there are now about a dozen states with some stations selling gas below $3 a gallon. AAA says the national average of $3.77 is 13 cents less than a month ago. Thanksgiving is going to cost more than usual this year. Part of that is due to a turkey shortage that is driving up prices. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says turkeys are 23% more expensive compared to 2021. That's partly the result of bird flu, which has decimated some farms, as well as inflation. As a result, shoppers are looking to secure their holiday birds much earlier than usual.
They said turkeys were going to be hard to find for Thanksgiving, so I thought I better see if I could find one early.
Overall, the typical Thanksgiving dinner is expected to cost nearly 14% more than last year. One survey shows that adults under the age of 32 plan to host around 10 guests this holiday. Well, as we mentioned, Thanksgiving is just over a week away, and historically, Thanksgiving kicks off the holiday travel season. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen spoke with regional travel experts to find out what they are expecting.
It's almost time to hit the road and take to the skies.
We've been full, so we're going to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 to 175 passengers each morning.
The La Crosse Regional Airport is facing high demand for flights over Thanksgiving weekend, but this year fewer flights are available.
And that's generally a result of an ongoing pilot shortage that's impacting regional air carriers across the United States.
On Monday, only 3 flights left the airport, 1 to Minneapolis and 2 to Chicago. Fewer options make for more packed planes.
The biggest challenge this time of year is all the extra stuff people pack. They're packing more bags, and that all drives a longer wait time to get through the ticket counter lines as well as the checkpoint lines.
Turner says that even if you're flying regionally, it's important to get to your airport 2 hours ahead of time. That's because most flights are booked, and plenty of people, including you, are probably traveling heavier this holiday season.
Airports are anticipated to be busy, and based on past years, so are the roadways. Petroleum analyst Patrick DeHaan says gas prices are higher than they were last year, but Wisconsinites are in luck if you stop for gas before you cross the border.
Gas prices in Wisconsin have fallen by the most of any state in the nation, falling about 26 cents a gallon in the last week.
It's not certain how much gas could cost ahead of the holiday, but trends are predicting a cost drop.
If everything goes well from here, I think it's completely feasible that we could see gas prices at some stations in Wisconsin falling under $3 a gallon by Thanksgiving.
In La Crosse, Emily Haugen, News 8 Now.
Turner says if you're considering booking any flights this holiday season, it's likely too late to get the best deal. He says some flights are still available, but your best chance for good deals is booking 2 to 3 months ahead of time.
Well, this morning here we are tracking the snow showers that continue to move their way north across the Coulee region. You can see a bit of a dry slot though across our central zones, but over the last couple of frames, notice how it's starting to fill in just a little bit more out ahead of the main snow axis that continues to pull towards the north in the general direction of us here in the Coulee region. A couple of disturbances going on in the atmosphere. You can see a broad trough of low pressure air at the surface combined with an upper level disturbance that we're also watching here for you this morning, and pretty much a mess here is going to happen across much of the upper Midwest, including us here. 33 degrees in cloudy skies, 34 degrees downtown. Winds are looking calm. A feel like of 33, 5.63 feet, and dropping is what the current river stage is. To the north of Eau Claire, 30 degrees here for you. East-southeast winds at around 9 miles an hour. Feel like temperatures are currently in the 20s. 29 degrees, that was the actual temperature in Black River Falls. We're seeing 31 in Sparta. Viroqua is at 30 degrees, and Bosque about 32, Prairie du Chien at 33 degrees. Let's get a check on your daycast here. Cloudy skies, 33 at 6, 12 o'clock, 33, and snow here. We'll be looking at that snow lasting through much of the day. Temperatures at 35 at 4, and some light lingering snow showers are possible into the early evening hours as well. We'll start to see the snow really begin to take shape later this morning, and especially as we head into those afternoon hours as well today, looking at kind of scattered snow across much of the area, which will continue through much of the later afternoon hours here as well, before that snow kind of begins to wind down here as we head into the early evening. And only a couple of lingering snow flurries or snow showers are possible late tonight and also into early tomorrow morning as well. That snow here will begin to develop again on the scattered side here across the area as we head into tomorrow afternoon, but nothing like what we're going to see today. I do expect anywhere between around 1 to 3 inches of snow for today across much of the upper Midwest, including us here in the Coulee region. In fact, I'm kind of thinking about updating the totals here for portions of Iowa well to the west of us, where they could be looking at anywhere between 2 to 4 inches. Here's a look at your 8-day forecast, and you'll see that we do have an alert day here for you today. Snow showers in the forecast again, as we mentioned, for tomorrow, and then also into the day on Thursday. Cloudy skies for Friday. Another chance of snow here possible on Saturday. Look at the highs temperatures. We're really going to cool down again. Highs will drop into the 20s starting Thursday and continue through this weekend before warming up into next week. Hey, don't forget you can also download the First Alert weather app for free on the Google Play or Apple App Store. Just check out the 8-day forecast anytime, as well as current weather alerts and current conditions. Stay with us though. We're back with much more news and weather still to come here on News 8 Now this morning with a look at what happened on this day in history for November 15th. Oh, we continue to watch the snow here coming up from the south and spreading north across the Coulee region. So it's really beginning to take shape now, and it won't be too much longer until we actually start to see the flakes begin to fly. Temperatures are currently into the low to mid 30s. We got 33 in La Crosse, 30 degrees to the north in Eau Claire. Plan on heading out with you and the dog this morning. Watch out for some of that snow coming down later this morning, but especially as we head into the afternoon and also into the early evening hours, where some of that snow could contain some heavy snowfall rates at times as well. I'll be back with another check on your commute forecast that's coming up a little bit later in weather.
Welcome to the Blitz. It's championship week for a couple of our area high school football teams. Aquinas and West Salem will be playing for state titles on Thursday and Friday. But before then, the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association highlighting the stars of 2022. The list is broken up into large schools and small schools. Let's start with the large ones. It was a phenomenal season for Onalaska, the Hilltoppers making it to level 4 for the first time in school history, and Nikki Odom was a big part of that. The senior makes the all-state team. Joining him is Central's Boston Brindley, a fantastic season for the senior. He was making highlight after highlight all season here on News 8 Now. Congrats to Boston for making the cut. Let's go to the small schools now. Aquinas still alive. Blue Gold's looking to repeat this week as back-to-back state champs. And the senior Jackson Flottmeyer gets rewarded for it. An excellent year for the Aquinas QB. West Salem also still alive. The Panthers are playing for a state title this Friday. Two of their guys making the list. Luke Knoll, dominant against Onalaska on Friday night. He makes the cut alongside his teammate, Brennan Kennedy. West Salem will take on Monroe Friday morning for a state title. And last but not least, Cashton Zach Milsner. He'll be heading to Wisconsin next year as a preferred walk-on. The Eagles lineman leading his squad to a level 4 appearance this season. Bucks at home last night hosting the Hawks, looking to avoid a 2-game losing streak. Early on, looking good. Milwaukee, nice give and go here. Bobby Portis to Jordan Wara for the two-handed jam. Bucks took an early 3-point lead, but the Hawks claw back. Late second quarter, Trae Young, the crossover, pulling up from deep. Atlanta takes a 13-point lead into the break. Good sign for the Bucks here, though. The rookie Marjon Beauchamp had it going last night. 3 of 4 from behind the arc, a career-high 20 points for the rookie, but Milwaukee can't narrow the gap. Hawks running away with it in the 4th. Jalen Johnson's going to throw it down. Bucks drop their second straight first loss at home this season for Milwaukee, 121-106. That'll do it for the Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
Breaking overnight, the chances of a railroad strike have gone up after a third rail union rejection of a labor deal. The union will continue negotiating toward an agreed contract with railroad management. Congress could prevent or end a strike by extending a cooling-off period, which the unions cannot strike, or by imposing a contract on union members. Former President Donald Trump is expected to make it official today. What he has teased for weeks, that he is running for president in 2024. He is holding a major event at his Mar-a-Lago estate, but some in the Republican Party say he should not run after the GOP underperformed in the midterm elections, while others say he should at least wait until the runoff Senate election in Georgia. The world's population will reach 8 billion people by today, the milestone in human development, according to the projection from the United Nations. The news was also a warning from the UN that the global population, while still growing, will soon start to shrink. The UN said while it took the global population 12 years to grow from 7 to 8 billion, it will take nearly 15 years for it to reach 9 billion. A sign of overall growth rate of the global population is slowing. A band director at Westby Middle School pushes his students to sound the best they possibly can, and those students are thanking him for it. Tori Kale Shows introduces us to this month's top-notch teacher.
Joshua Curtis is making sweet music in Westby.
I knew when I was a kid that I wanted to be a band director. How cool it would be to be the guy who could make that, take the next step for kids, because it should be the most fun part of their day. This is that safe place, this is that fun place, and you get to step out of your comfort zone a little bit and step out of all of that world of school, and that really does make for a pretty well-rounded student, and a lot of times those kids need that. Music takes you to different places. It gives you opportunities. I want kids to experience all of that as well.
I think he expects a lot out of us because he knows we can give it.
He knows we can get there and do it. He doesn't want us to do any less than we could.
There's more to the band than the music.
Relationships is a big deal for me because I feel like if you can build a relationship with a kid, then you grab them and you can hang on to them for a long time. If everybody needs a place where they're gonna feel loved and cared about, that's what I like to do here.
Mr. Curtis can show you what that means.
Whatever you do, whenever a kid gives you something, a picture, anything, have a special drawer for that.
Literally, he can show you.
I got a drawer that's just crammed full of stuff that would probably mean nothing to anybody. But for me, when I'm having a bad day, I can go through that drawer and see those memories, those cards, those pictures. That stuff is pretty special to me because really, I'm a band director.
But are you really?
I'm pretty sure everybody that comes in these doors looks forward to seeing him each day.
He's a really great guy that cares a lot about everyone.
I try to be available And maybe it's something as simple as going to their basketball game or going and watch them run, and which to me takes just a little bit of time, but to them means a lot. You come to work and you do the best you can, and you hope you make a difference. And then when they go to graduate and you get a card like that, then you know. And that sticks with you. Makes you want to keep doing it. Makes you want to do more.
And now you know Joshua Curtis, a top-notch teacher.
Now, besides being a band director, Curtis drives a school bus when needed and acts as the faculty director for the WAPAC Center. His favorite instrument to play is the tuba, and we wish Joshua congratulations for being top-notch teacher here this morning. Holman students put on their dancing shoes for a great cause. On Monday night, sports teams and a marketing class put on the 10th annual fundraising event, Dancing with the Sports Stars. One athlete pairs up with a member of the dance team to perform. 8 dancing duos took the stage all total. This year, students raised money for the family of 6th grader Leslie Lee, who passed away from lymphoma in September. Student organizers say they are glad to do the fundraiser.
It's just to help support a family, and just good to bring the community together for a cause that can help the community out.
The show wasn't the only fundraiser. There was a bake sale, a silent auction, and a photo booth. Altogether, the event raised close to $24,000. The school district of La Crosse is heading back to the drawing board. Board members participated in a workshop to discuss the district's future after voters rejected its nearly $195 million referendum. News 8 Now's Dua Israr was at the meeting and explains what the district is considering.
The changing of seasons can bring in new beginnings. For the school district of La Crosse, new beginnings are necessary.
We're taking the next steps to look at our long-range facility plan to evaluate our options as we move forward.
After La Crosse voters rejected the district's nearly $195 million school referendum, board members met at a workshop to discuss new plans.
We'll be thinking about the steps we need to take next in order to balance our budget and keep doing the best job we can.
One of the options includes going to referendum again in April.
Those are always opportunities for us to consider going to referendum. We're focused on November at this point, and we'll reassess as we move forward.
Superintendent Aaron Engel says the district has concerns about a lack of state funding.
State legislature has underfunded schools for a decade, and as a result, we're facing pretty significant budget deficits. So we're grappling with a $3.7 million budget deficit as we think about next year's school budget.
Board members at the workshop said the district needs to find ways to improve communication with the community.
But reaching out to a lot of our constituents, saying like, hey, we need y'all to advocate for the district or advocate for public education as a whole. And what does that look like?
Engel says he believes the district did the best it could.
Many opportunities through focus groups, surveys, informational sessions for folks to get all the information they need and all their questions answered.
Engel says the next few months will be crucial for the district's future. Reporting in La Crosse, Dua Israr, News 8 Now.
Engel says the board will continue to meet to discuss the future of La Crosse schools over the next several months. A nationwide effort to get gifts to children for Christmas began on Monday. Operation Christmas Child is a program through Samaritan's Purse, a Christian organization that helps give out shoe boxes full of toys, school supplies, and toiletries to children worldwide. More than 10 churches in the greater La Crosse area are accepting shoe boxes between now and Sunday, November 21st. We have more information at news8000.com. UW La Crosse and Wisconsin Public Radio are offering community members an opportunity to learn about the life of a Cuban refugee. The lecture will cover the Mariel boat lift when thousands of Cuban refugees were sent to live at Fort McCoy in Sparta. Listeners will be able to hear the stories of some of these refugees. This free event is open to the public and starts at 7 p.m. tonight at the UWL Student Union. If you'd like to attend, we have posted a link to register at news8000.com. Twin Cities auto shops say the time to get your car ready for this winter is right now. They say waiting could mean a headache down the road. Adam Duxter got some tips from 2 longtime technicians about what you should do before the temperatures drop even lower.
If you're looking for a sign to winterize your car, you'll find it at Jeff's Auto Service in Hopkins.
We always check all the lights.
Paul Kinney and his family have spent nearly a half-century dealing with cars in their relationship with the Minnesota cold.
We have 1 or 2 stints of cold weather, and then stuff shows up. Any car that comes in here, I look at it like, okay, if this was my wife's car, what do I want to do to make sure that she doesn't have to worry about anything going on the road?
When the temperatures and then the snow start to drop, Kinney says things like fluid, your battery, and wipers all start to go. At Amola Motorsports in Plymouth,
I think the snow is peaceful anyways. The first few weeks around when it's going to snow, it's a lot of what we're doing.
technician Alan Nemitz says it's all about having the right tires.
We won't have the traction in the snow, ice, or even just the colder temperatures. Where there's no tread, there's not much siping.
Both places say if you wait until it's too late, you might regret it. And while it's hard work for them right now, it's work well worth it.
I love doing something and doing it well, and then having other people be expressing their gratitude for doing a job well done, that they don't have to worry about stuff. There's enough stuff to worry about right now.
Both shops also recommend keeping a winter emergency kit with a flashlight flare, a blanket inside your car at all times.
Things are looking cloudy, but we're also keeping an eye on the snow that continues to develop and move its way north currently across the Coulee region. And there's plenty more snow back towards the south that we're watching that continues to develop across Iowa and move north across the Coulee region. All right, your current temperatures as you head out the door, some of us into the upper 20s like Black River Falls. Oakfield, you have warmed up to 30 though. But again, most of us here this morning into the low 30s. Forecast for today, a high of 37 degrees, but it's going to be mainly into the mid-30s for many spots with snow likely, and some of that snow may even turn heavy at times as well, lasting into the early evening. Some scattered snow is still possible that could linger into tonight. Low temperatures at around 27 degrees, which is a little seasonable for this time of year, and north winds light at around 5 to 10 miles an hour. Watch out for some snow here on your morning commute, especially later on in the morning, but we will be looking at some steadier snow here arriving for your lunch hour and also into the late afternoon to early evening back. We could be watching some heavy snow here as well, so something to bear in mind. You want to make sure that you take it easy, slow down, reduce your braking distance, and turn on those headlights. I'll be back with another check on the full weather forecast still to come. Jordan?
Thanks a lot, Derek. Comedian Jay Leno is recovering from burns following his car bursting into flames. What the former Tonight Show host is saying about those burns after the break.
Well, conditions are mainly quiet in La Crosse, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, I want to start off with the radar picture because there is some snow going on across much of the Coulee region. The light blue indicates where some of that lighter snow is, which is most locations here for us this morning dealing with that. But you can see across our central zones right in the vicinity of La Crosse right now, we're kind of under a dry slot, so we're really not seeing a whole lot of snow activity. But there's a lot more, though, that's still to come. We expect that radar picture to fill in across the Coulee region as snow continues to develop to the south and move its way towards the north, what you're seeing there right now. Now, we have a pretty broad trough of low pressure happening in the atmosphere across much of the upper Midwest, and this system here is expected to continue to develop and basically move across the Midwest here today and spread cloud cover and snow here over the next few days, and that's going to be affecting us here in the Coulee region. Temperatures at 33 degrees, winds are calm, our river stage is at 5.63 feet and dropping. In Eau Claire, you're looking cloudy here yourself, 30 degrees, east-southeast winds at around 9 miles an hour here, and we got temperatures mainly into the low 30s this morning, but there are some spots like Black River Falls at 29 degrees, and the rest of us here again mainly into the low 30s. Let's get a check on your daycast here today. We'll be at 33 at 7 with that snow here starting, and then that snow will continue throughout the day, which, by the way, may turn heavy at times as well, so something to keep in mind. A few light lingering snow showers are still possible even as we head into the early evening hours. And you'll see that here on SkyTracker, the snow here continues to fill in and develop and move across the Coulee region, turning scattered here by the early afternoon, really coming down as we head into the late afternoon to early evening. evening hours. And when I say really coming down, that means that it could turn heavy at times as well before it begins to wind down as we head into the evening hours, and especially as we head into tonight. Only a couple of flakes here are still possible. By tomorrow morning, a couple of spotty snow showers before more scattered snow shower activity begins to develop and move across the Coulee region in some spots by tomorrow afternoon. But we're not expecting anything significant tomorrow. Today was going to be more of the heavy snow day, where I am expecting anywhere between around 1 to 3 inches that will fall across much of the upper Midwest, which does include us here in the Coulee region. And if you go west across central Iowa, they could be looking at anywhere between 2 to 4 inches of snow with locally higher totals there. Here's a check on your 8-day forecast, and you'll see that we do have those snow chances in the forecast through at least Thursday. Speaking of Thursday, we're going to get pretty cold starting that day, 29 degrees, and then we're dropping into the 20s for our highs for Friday and also into this weekend.
Well, if you weren't ready for winter, strap in. In our Buzz report this morning, comedian Jay Leno is recovering from burns after a gasoline fire. The former Tonight Show host told Variety he was working on one of his vehicles in his garage when it burst into flames and burned him. The 72-year-old says that he is okay and needs a week or two to recover. He's reportedly being treated at a burn center in Los Angeles. Veteran actor John Aniston, best known for his role on the soap opera Days of Our Lives, has died at the age of 89. Daughter Jennifer Aniston, on an Instagram post, said her father passed away on Friday. His long-running time on Days of Our Lives began in 1985. Aniston was recently honored with a Daytime Emmy's Lifetime Achievement Award for his long-standing role on the soap opera. Hollywood honored actress Christina Applegate with a star on the Walk of Fame on Monday. Her co-stars, Katie Sagal and David Facino, from the 90s sitcom Married with Children, joined Applegate for the ceremony. Applegate has been acting on stage, television, and in film since she was young and has received Emmys, Golden Globe, and Tony nominations. We are sending you to break with a look at who is turning 8 this morning.
That's right. Happy 80th birthday to Dwayne. Now, Dwayne enjoys bingo and cards as well as spending time with his family. Happy birthday, Dwayne.
Dwayne, you're the star of the show this morning. Happy birthday to you. If you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80 years old, or 88 years old soon, make sure you let us know.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button, which is under the Home tab on our website.
We hope you can stay with us. We've got everything you need to know this morning in 5 minutes or less. Your Morning News Now is up next. Your Morning News Now on this Tuesday. The La Crosse County Board will spend $100,000 on a test well in the town of Campbell. According to the request, the test could help the town find a long-term clean water solution. Families in the town of Campbell are drinking bottled water because their wells have tested positive for PFAS. Drilling for the test well is set to begin in the next 2 weeks. The town of Campbell will also get about $500,000 for PFAS research. The board approved the money, but will not release that money immediately. Instead, the county will hold on to the money until they can discuss what it will be used for. The board did approve other funding packages for the Holman Community Center, the City of Onalaska for the Omni Center, and Big Brothers Big Sisters, then approved the entire 2023 budget. The La Crosse Common Council unanimously approved the city's 2023 operating budget, but the finance director warned council members it won't be as easy next year.
There isn't a magic wand that you can do without an impact. Usually the taxes, in my experience, usually depends on additional revenues from referendums, which can increase taxes.
The council also voted in favor of a new fee schedule. The costs of some public records requests, alcohol licenses, and construction permits are going up. The snow removal fee will go down.
And speaking of snow, we are going to be looking at that here starting later this morning and then really coming down, continuing throughout the afternoon as well as into the early evening before it begins to wind down around the 7 o'clock hour. Some of that snow could turn heavy at times as well. Temperatures will be in the 30s today.
The holiday travel season is nearly here, and plenty of Wisconsinites will be on the move. At the La Crosse Regional Airport, demand for flights over the Thanksgiving weekend is high, but because of the ongoing pilot shortage, fewer flights are available. Fewer options means the planes that take off from La Crosse will be packed.
We've been full, so we're going to see somewhere in the neighborhood of 150 to 175 passengers each morning, and then about half of that on each of the afternoon flights, which are separated a little bit better.
If you are driving, travel volume projections aren't out yet, but based on past years, roads will be busy. And good news for drivers, oil analysts are expecting gas prices to drop. Holman students put their dancing shoes on for a great cause. On Monday night, sports teams and a marketing class put on the 10th annual fundraising event, Dancing with the Sports Stars. This year, students raised money for the family of 6th grader Leslie Lee, who passed away from lymphoma in September. Now, student organizers say they are glad to do the fundraiser.
It's just to help support a family and just good to bring the community together for a cause that can help the community out.
The show wasn't the only fundraiser. There was a bake sale, a silent auction, and a photo booth. Altogether, the event raised close to $24,000. UW La Crosse and Wisconsin Public Radio are offering community members an opportunity to learn about the life of a Cuban refugee. The lecture will cover the Mariel boat lift, when thousands of Cuban refugees were sent to live at Fort McCoy in Sparta. Listeners will be able to hear the stories of some of these refugees. This free event is open to the public, and it starts at 7 p.m. tonight at the UWL Student Union. If you would like to attend, we have posted a link to register at news8000.com.
And as you head out the door today, keep in mind that snow here is likely, especially the afternoon, where it could turn heavy at times as well. Temperatures will be into the 30s. East northeast winds light at 5 to 10 miles an hour. So get ready for a pretty snowy day, Jordan.
It's that time of year. Yep. Well, don't forget to keep up with the news of the day at news8000.com. We'll have the latest coming up this afternoon for News 8 Now at noon. And don't forget to download the News 8 Now First Alert weather app.
Very handy today.
We're going to have all the updates hour by hour for you this afternoon and later on this morning as well. CBS Mornings follows us here. Thank you for your time and have a great day.